Hello, dear listeners. Just a quick announcement before we begin this week's episode. As you may have heard, the Cornflag is nominated as the best sports podcast in the HT Smartcast Mint Podmasters Awards. We've been talking about this on our social media, and this is a final plea from here because the voting lines close on the 10th of February. So please head to the link that we have put in the show notes of this episode and the previous episode as well. Click the link, go to the category Best Sports Podcast, and select the Corner Flag and vote for us. Your vote would mean a lot because the more you vote, the better chances we have of going to the next round and having the jury listen to us and decide if we are actually the best sports podcast in India or not. Hint, hint, we are, or at least we think we do. But we need your help to make it happen. Please help us push us over the line and become an award-winning podcast. Thank you so much. Please do vote and enjoy the episode. Arsenal closed the gap and Chelsea are 11 points from relegation. Welcome to the Corner Flag. I'm Amogh.
I'm Prashant.
And I'm Mukesh.
Welcome everybody to the Corner Flag. We were trolled on Twitter. I don't know if you guys saw this, but a very good friend of ours from our working together at Weird Dash Days, Mazhar.
Yes.
Famous Arsenal fan Mazhar Ramzan Ali said Corner Flag is going to be missing because Arsenal have won. And we told him that no, we are definitely going to be there and we'll make sure that Mukesh is also there, which I'm glad that we have stuck to our promise and Mukesh is here and we are here to talk about it.
Let's go. No. I decided to be less sour and be a more rational pundit.
And this happened just last month when we did our first podcast of 2024 in January when we were like, this is my resolution. This is my New Year's resolution as a Liverpool fan.
Yeah.
Yes, there is no other place where we can begin this episode but Arsenal's 3-1 victory over Liverpool. The title race is wide open. Of course, Man City play Brentford later tonight, so we'll see what they have to say about it. But big 3 points for Arsenal. Mukesh, do you think that Klopp leaving is having more of a detrimental effect than what it's supposed to?
No. See, I think every season Liverpool play about 50 games, correct?
Yeah.
And in those 50 games, Alisson has to have one fuck-all game.
Yeah.
Right? And I think this is that game. It sucks it wasn't against some Huddersfield or some Chelmstown or something in some FA Cup or something. Pity, real pity that isn't the case. And it just so happened to be the most important game until now.
Yeah.
Because 8 points clear at the top reads so differently, and so differently from 2 points or even just 3 points. You know what? We have it at Liverpool even got 1 point. So disastrous. But it's
I think disastrous is the way to also describe the game as a whole because
it was,
we saw a bunch of errors. Firstly, the Arsenal error for Liverpool's equalizer. Just Arsenal defense all over the place. Gabriel, unfortunately, the casualty in that because it was his deflection that put it into his own net. But it was the Alisson Van Dijk error.
Wait. Let's pause on that. Didn't you?
You want to just stew on the Arsenal mistakes first for a bit. Listen, we owe it to Mazhar. We've been told that we don't have Arsenal representation on this podcast. So I feel like for today.
So let's represent them through misery. Let's pick.
Let's represent them through what it is. They celebrated also after the game. Like
and how?
I have something to say about that.
Of course you do.
Something to say about that. Something to say about that.
It was kind of poetic that Gabriel had to hand the ball in, and I think last time Arsenal and Liverpool met, Odegaard literally handled the ball inside the penalty box, and Liverpool wasn't given a penalty. But it was quite silly. But not the silliest moment in the game.
No, not at all. Not at all. Because let's talk about the Van Dijk Alisson error.
No, I think it's an Alisson error. Honestly, it's an Alisson error. I don't think
it is definitely more of an Alisson error than a Van Dijk error, but it is also a bit of Van Dijk's error because you would think an £80 million bargain defender.
Bargain. Reiterating bargain.
would bargain his way out of that sticky defensive situation. Like he was being shoulder. Like, let's face it, if you're
But
going up against Gabriel Martinelli in a physical battle, Van Dijk, being the man mountain that he is, you would expect him to assert some sort of physical dominance over his attacker at that moment. But he didn't. Like, he was bullied by Martinelli. He was bullied into not being able to make the correct decision of heading the ball away from goal or back towards his own goalkeeper.
no, I think he did the perfect job. He just pushed I think his aim was to push the player out of out.
I'm sorry, he didn't do the perfect job because at the end of it was an Arsenal goal.
No, essentially, that to me is the clear result of if Alisson's, I don't know what, Spider-Man kick.
Yeah.
I thought it was some hurdle race, those 110-meter hurdles. I think he thought his aim was to jump over the ball or something.
Yeah.
So for me, I thought Van Dijk was perfect. He was trying to push off his man, and had Alisson even waited at the edge of the D with his hands out, he could have gotten the ball. I don't think there was going to be too much effort for him to wait for the ball, etc. So I don't know. That was a little atrocious. I don't know what the expectation was from Alisson. That was he expecting like Martinelli to like fake Van Dijk, turn around him, stick a boot up, and then maybe it goes up? I don't know. I thought maybe he gave Martinelli too much credit, and by giving him too much credit,
I thought you had resolved to not be so sour, man.
I wasn't sour. I'm saying
That's so sour. That is you being atrociously belligerent in the face of defeat. I'm sorry. Can you please just on this podcast just say that Arsenal were the better team and Liverpool काफी टट्टी था?
Yeah, of course. I mean, see, it's sad.
Sorry, what?
See, here's the thing. Liverpool were bad, but Arsenal definitely weren't even close to being good. And it's
I'm sorry, they beat you 3.
Sure, they did. Sure, but they weren't great. Liverpool was just absolute dog shit. Like none of the players turned up, and I think
I'm sorry, if Liverpool were dog shit and lost 1-0, then I can understand that. Yeah, okay, maybe Arsenal weren't great. But I feel like with the way Arsenal played, like all 3 goals, let's be very clear about it. The first goal, let's say the Saka goal. Firstly, great pass from Odegaard to release Gabriel Martinelli. Great pass. And that was, on one hand, that was a great pass. On the other hand, again, Liverpool's defense was all over the place.
Yeah.
Like the positioning of that defensive line was atrocious in that moment.
Yeah.
But fantastic play by Arsenal to create that situation, to see where the defense is lacking, where the Liverpool defense is lacking, and make those runs. Like Martinelli was in the perfect position to make that run. He was onside. He timed his run perfectly, and it created the break.
I actually feel like
Odegaard was great to see that pass and play that pass first time. That entire run of play was very, very well done by Arsenal. Second goal, the Martinelli goal, again, he's such a nuisance to defenders, Gabriel Martinelli. And he proved that again by taking on supposedly one of the best defenders in the Premier League. Oh, a bargain player. But usko औकात दिखा दी at the end of the day.
What?
And then finally,
I feel like you're trying to make it seem like a Van Dijk error because you have some issue where now where you don't want him to be considered good or even great or good even.
I'm sorry, it is a Van Dijk error. Let's be very clear. Like when Maguire makes about it a lot. No,
when someone who has no stakes in this is so sour, there is no way you can expect a Liverpool fan to be sour. That is total.
I'm not being sour. I'm just trying to...
I would rarely use this word, but it's total bitch behavior, dude. Being like, it's Van Dijk's fault, and clearly, what are you saying? I don't know, maybe...
are you seriously saying that it's not Van Dijk's fault?
I think it's completely Alisson's fault. And you know how much I always defend goalkeepers at any cost. I would have defended Karius on this podcast.
Okay.
So, but that was clearly Alisson's error.
Okay, sure. It was Alisson's error, sure. But it was also Van Dijk's error because Van Dijk should have dealt with that ball.
I'm sorry, Arsenal. You will never get good representation on this podcast because there's always another fan. Yeah. There's always another fan to hijack it and make it about themselves.
I'm sorry. You're right. Van Dijk, like Prashant said, Van Dijk is a bargain buy.
He cannot do an error. Impossible.
He can make errors, but that particular error was clearly Alisson's fault.
No, he can create an error. He can do an error, but there's just no acceptance of that error.
But in fact, this game, I feel like the mistake was in Liverpool's midfield. I think Gravenberch was clearly out of depth in such an important game, and I think entrusting him in the midfield in such an important game and putting him up against the likes of, Declan Rice and Odegaard, I think was
Clearly better players
clearly much better players than Gravenberg. So I think that was a big error from Klopp.
than most of Liverpool players.
Oh my god, that's
Now pushing it. Pushing it. You almost had it. Amogh. Take little victories from him.
Always taking it a little bit too far.
Too far.
Sorry.
But
yes, go on.
Yeah, no, I think Klopp got it wrong. I think the more, I think Arsenal want to control the game, and for some reason, Liverpool, who thrive when there's a little more chaos than what most teams can enjoy, I think also wanted to control the game, which I thought was a very stupid thing to do, because I thought it was silly to not get, because anyway the midfield is a very, it isn't a high press, heavy metal midfield. So I thought it was stupid to not play Darwin Núñez. I don't know if it was an injury thing, because I think Szoboszlai was an injury precaution, so they didn't want to risk it, so they didn't play him.
I think the reason why Darwin Núñez was not picked was because I think what Klopp was thinking of, he was trying to go a different direction with his Liverpool team selection, and the direction was that he wanted to score goals.
That's
What was it in the last? How many times did he hit the post in the last match?
He hit the post four times. So I saw the statistics. Okay,
Yeah.
While doing research for the quiz, I saw some stats. Which said I was looking at in this season, the number of times players have hit the post. I think that FPL or whatever gives you that stat.
Yeah.
Darwin Núñez is 9. The next player who's Trent is at 3. So Liverpool themselves have hit 12 times they've hit the post this season. So yeah, I'm hoping at some point the luck evens out or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think Núñez, even if he would have hit the post, at least he's creating that chaos, something that Arsenal can't handle. I think Arsenal can't handle someone just creating chaos, someone that doesn't fall in, which doesn't let them control the game, or someone who doesn't have any control. If Liverpool don't have control, I will Arsenal find control from. So, because then there'll be 3 teams playing when Núñez is playing. So that's good, which I think Klopp got really wrong in this. Now I think it might just be down to the fact that there was no Salah, there was no Szoboszlai, there was no Trent had just come back, and even Andy Robertson I think came on much later. So
yeah,
it might be to that. I think in the last, between December and Jan, I think Liverpool played 15 games, whereas Arsenal played only 11 games. So might have come down to that. But
it's amazing how when in the last episode when we discussed Klopp leaving, you were like, if you can't keep them, become them. That's the saying, were your exact words. And you're being very true to that, because you also, much like Klopp, in the face of defeat, have started coming up with ridiculous excuses.
These are observations. I have said they won fair and square. They didn't cheat. Unlike Tottenham, who definitely cheated. And won against Liverpool. The only other defeat that Liverpool have faced was Tottenham, which was in your face cheating. This, at least on the other hand, at least I can say confidently that Arsenal didn't cheat. They just a very mediocre side turned up and they beat a very mediocre side.
But if you're saying that a mediocre side turned up and beat a mediocre side, that doesn't say the full picture, does it? If you're saying that Arsenal is mediocre, then Liverpool, then you have to say it was absolute tutty.
I mean, they were absolute tutty on the day, yeah, of course. I mean, I'm agreeing to that. Alisson was I thought it was a goalkeeping, even the third goal fucking went through his legs.
So I thought
I thought 1-1 would have been fair.
No, but I'm saying, the only reason I don't have anything personally against Liverpool.
Of course.
And that is the joke of this episode. No, of course, I have a lot of things personally against Liverpool, but I'm saying Alisson defensive error leads to a goal. Van Dijk similar defensive error leads to the same goal. I'm sorry, he did not deal with that aerial ball well enough. He did not. He misjudged the flight of the ball. He let it bounce. He shouldn't have done any of that.
9 out of 10 times in this situation, Alisson collects it cleanly or clears it, makes contact and clears the ball. So there's a clear method to which what he was expecting to happen. He didn't expect a 110-meter hurdle race to come out and jump over the ball.
Looking at that defensive error, I did not see any sort of method anywhere within the vicinity of that goal. There was no method. It was absolute chaos. It was basically, it was Darwin Núñez playing in defense. It was that
as goalkeeper. It was the spirit
as
of Darwin
goalkeeper, as defender, as the
not
football,
as
everything.
Not as defender, for sure. He was definitely not a Martinelli because he scored.
yeah, that's true. He did not hit the post. He actually got the ball over the line. But on the Arsenal side, of course, Carragher had a lot to say about Arsenal's celebrations at the end of the game. What do you have to say about that? Because you did say that you have something to say about that.
No, see, I'm okay with however they celebrate, and I think
then it's fine.
Wait. There is a but. There is a decisive but coming. So I think it's great. In fact, they celebrated as if they won the title, which only flatters Liverpool that the result means so much to them. Whereas Liverpool can only confidently say it's the first fair defeat of the game. So fair enough. Wait, secondly, but.
No, before you get to...
let me finish now. How can you stop a sentence before my fucking conjunction comes?
You finished the first point. Now I want to revert to the first point before you get to the second point.
But there's a very...
There's no but. I'm saying... see, now you've lost my train of thought. I'm saying...
Great. But I thought when Arteta was doing fist bumps at the crowd, that was one of the most artificial things I've ever seen. It was incredible.
Mikel artificial.
Yeah, oh my God, it was incredibly fake. I think he just didn't even know how to move his fist up.
I mean, fantastic Jose Mourinho impersonation by running down the touchline.
Yeah.
And then a Klopp impression of trying to do that weird fist. And it looks so awkward on him. Like, I was saying, yeah, thoda... Chote bhai, like, listen, calm down a little, but yeah, that was awkward. But I thought, I did think Carragher was unfair in, I think, chiding Odegaard for taking pictures of the staff. Like, don't pick on staff, man. Like, you make it about the players and maybe even the immediate coaching personnel because that's banter or whatever.
Yeah.
That's some fucking staff who's worked hard their whole life is taking a photo. I think that's actually classless from Carragher too.
Yeah.
To pick that moment.
Yeah, no, because I thought that moment was very sweet because Stuart MacFarlane is the photographer in question, and he's been a lifelong Arsenal fan. He's been the club photographer at Arsenal for a while, and I remember in the All or Nothing documentary also, Arteta actually got him to give a team talk to the players in one game, which was quite wholesome. It was really
extremely
nice.
Wholesome.
And I'm just saying now to go back to the rebuttal of your first point. I'm saying. It's weird that you're saying that it's flattering to Liverpool because everybody knows Liverpool are one of the best teams in the league and they have been over the last 4 or 5 years.
I think Liverpool don't know that. That's the problem.
And last season. But no, I feel like it is normal for a team like Arsenal that's on the way up to celebrate a victory over Liverpool, a tough opponent like Liverpool, in such a way. Especially when they're playing at home, their home fans are all there. They want to see that spectacle. So I feel like that's completely justified.
Can I tell you what's funny about all of this? It's just basically two clown teams fighting each other, and ultimately Man City will come and take the title and go.
Pretty much.
Because I think for me, the way I think about it is like Man City would never celebrate, right? Man City...
Because they're fucking robots.
Yeah, Man City of the last, say, 10 years, United of the Ferguson years, and probably Liverpool of the 80s or what stories you heard, they would never celebrate only. For them, it's like, of course we beat you. Whereas, hamare dono ka loser teams, constant second and third teams, they're like, we won. It's like for them to be winners, it's such an achievement. Whereas Man City, anything, there are a few teams like Real Madrid, Man City. They are Juventus, I guess, in Italy. Like when they don't win, it's the story. Not when, cool. It's like Australia and cricket, These fucking loser teams, Arsenal and Liverpool, like India.
But I feel like what the celebration police doesn't understand, like I include Carragher in this and a lot of these old school English pundits who just have a problem with people expressing themselves is, you're seeing a team like Arsenal, exactly, and you're seeing a team like Arsenal celebrate like that after beating one of the best sides in the league, their direct title rivals. It's a massive 3 points for them at a point in their trajectory where they're on the way up, right? Like for the longest time, Arsenal have been a very bad team with terrible players, with a terrible manager, with a terrible culture in the club. Right, you remember the Aubameyang days and all that.
Don't say anything against Aubameyang. The last silverware that Arsenal ever got was also because of Aubameyang was still
That's
there.
True, yeah.
So currently, as of now, they've not achieved anything yet. This whole
fair.
writing op-eds and glorifying is...
But I'm saying overall, I think we can all be in agreement that Arteta's doing a decent job at Arsenal. He's turned the club around. He's definitely changed the culture at the club.
Sure.
And I might remind you that a certain Jurgen Klopp also did the same thing in that 2-2 draw with West Brom. Now we all make fun of Liverpool players and Klopp himself celebrating a draw against West Brom, but that was at the start of Klopp's tenure at Liverpool when he was changing the culture around.
And this is Arteta's 19th year or something at Arsenal.
It's not his 19th year as a manager.
Yeah, I know. Joking, I know it's not his 19th year, but yeah, this is
he probably is 19.
See, whatever said about Klopp, third season final, fourth season trophy tha haath mein. Whereas Arteta is still in the process. Again, I trust the process.
Yeah.
As a thing, I trust it. Please trust the process.
Yes.
But I think my issue was when you put down players like Aubameyang, I was like, hey, let's not. The last piece of recognizable silverware, I don't know, Beach if they won some community shield, but the last piece of recognizable quality silverware that they won came again when Aubameyang and co were still playing again. So for Arsenal, so like until they win future silverware, let's at least an FA Cup. Yeah. Because I think that's still in the hands. Carling, whatever, the EFL is out of their hands.
Yeah.
I think let's rest bitching about their former not so greats.
But speaking of Arteta's had something very interesting to say about Jorginho. Jorginho, of course, had a very good game yesterday against Liverpool, and Arteta was asked about it. He had this to say about Jorginho. He said, Jorginho is unbelievable. Example, role model. He's been in a lot of pain. He had an issue, but he didn't want to stop. For all the kids, for everybody at the club, you want to look in the mirror at somebody, just look at him and how he behaves. As British comedian Rhys James pointed out, Arteta doesn't know how mirrors work.
Yep. I don't know I think when Arteta sees in the mirror, he sees Pep. I think that's probably why in his dreams of dreams and fantasy of fantasies he sees.
Are you saying that he sees Pep and he's doomed to the outcome that in order to become a successful manager, his fantastic head of hair is going to go? The only way he's going to be successful is when he goes bald.
I think that's what's stopping him for sure.
Right. Mikel, a little less Kesh Kala, a little more appreciate
a little more Gillette.
Yeah.
A little more Gillette.
That might be what gives you the silverware that you're craving for. Controversial opinion, but might be true. Right. With that, let's go to Manchester United 3, West Ham United 0. I cannot believe this. When I can't. As much as I feel like I want to shit on it, I'm like, chalo, abhi thoda respectable class denge, because I can't believe that.
I can't believe this isn't higher on the order.
No, I mean, for the longest time, for the last few episodes, I've been putting United games in the second half.
Hence.
And even yesterday, I actually sat down to watch.
Amogh is like, chalo.
Get it out of the way. That's what happens when you're the host and you make the run order. You get all these perks. I sat down to watch a United game after so long, because a lot of the previous games were late night kickoffs and all, and I just can't be bothered to stay up till like 3 a.m. to watch United lose very badly and then ruin my sleep and ruin my next morning. It just is not worth it. But 7:30 kickoff tha yesterday, so I said, you know what, fuck it, let's watch it. Sat down to watch with a sense of dread, saying it's West Ham, it's David Moyes, kuch to kaand karega ye, kuch to change hoga.
Yeah.
But it was such a good performance. It was a complete performance. The kids did really well. Kobbie Mainoo was fantastic in midfield. Højlund scoring again. Garnacho with 2 goals. Acha laga yaar.
Yeah, dude. I swear when Amogh was listing out those names, it felt like some Hanuman Chalisa. Just all the names. He's like, oh my god. It's just like, nice. Yeah. Say more.
Say more. Garnacho scores his goal when he goes and sits on the advertising hoarding, and Højlund and Mainoo sit next to him with their hands around each other. I just had a big smile on my face. And that has not happened in so long. I haven't had a smile on my face while watching Man United play, but that one picture of the three of them just sitting and smiling on the advertising hoarding after scoring a goal just felt so nice.
Cute.
And then the commentator said something, are we seeing the new United Trinity? Best Law and Charlton ke baad, Hoyland,
Oh, come
Mainu and
on.
Garnacho. I'm like, stop fucking jinxing it, you
Jinxed it.
So yeah, but it was a great victory. Not so great for Lisandro Martinez, who has apparently sprained his collateral ligament, so he's going to be out for a month, maybe two. And that like United just can't get a break, man. So many fucking injuries, and Martinez just back after a long injury layoff gets injured again. Just rotten luck.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I think. Amogh is so happy now. Fucking.
No, please say. See, the point is we don't let people stay happy for too long. So please bring it on. Please, what do you have to say?
So I can see your face already sunk a little bit. I was like, but very good. It is very good. Also, the goals were actually fantastic. I think it's nice for United that Hoyland is. I think he's finding confidence. I think people wrote him off quite quickly because I don't know, because of similarities to Haaland. They remember, not every striker has to be a Haaland. Yeah? Like, it's okay, you can have number 2, number 3, number 4 is also a respectable place to be in. So I thought it's nice. Hoyland's finally scoring and he looked confident. I think this is probably his best goal he scored. And I think it's probably his 11th goal, if I'm not wrong, 11th or 12th goal. And it's probably his best goal, most amount of technique, least poacher-like. So yeah, I think maybe this is the bet. I actually didn't see Ten Hag's face at all. I don't know. Maybe that's a good thing. I feel like he always looks so sad. And sadu. So I don't know if.
Maybe the players also didn't see Ten Hag's face at all. So maybe that was the key. On the other side, Calvin Phillips, of course, who's now on loan at West Ham with the Euros approaching. Calvin Phillips has decided कि यार मेरे को football खेलना पड़ेगा if I have to represent England at the Euros in 2024. So he's got his loan deal to West Ham. He did not have a great game because he started the previous game for West Ham and he was atrocious in that fixture and then was dropped to the bench for this one. Comes off the bench and gets pickpocketed by Scott McTominay for United's third goal and doesn't even get up, track back. Has he forgotten how to play football?
I think he assumed it would be as easy as it was at Man City.
Yeah.
He's like, yaar, abhi kaam bhi karna hai. He's so thaku.
Yeah.
He slid and he's like, chalo, De Bruyne, someone will come. Yeah. Okay. Oh, United will score a goal. And like, shit, United actually scored a goal. Fuck. He's like...
I think that is the best way to put it. Right, on that note, let's take a quick break. On the other side, we'll talk about Everton, Spurs, we'll talk about Chelsea's disappointing defeat to Wolves, where I'm pretty sure Prashant will have a lot more to say. He's been quite quiet in the first half, but hopefully he'll have a lot more to say when we talk about that. And Mukesh, I think we have a game.
We do have a game.
We do have a game. So see you on the other side. Welcome back to the Corner Flag, everybody. And as always, we begin the second half with some questions. Questions with the Corner Flag.
Dude, answers also, huh?
Super. So our first question is by Daksh. He says, Liverpool dropping points against Gunners. Now can we see a good title race in the Premier League?
No, because Man City are still a thing. So
Man City, and also like it's in their hands. I don't know if people are aware of what's happening in the points table.
Yeah,
City are 2 games in hand, and if they win those 2 games, they go 1 point ahead of Liverpool. So essentially, Liverpool are second for all practical purposes, and Arsenal are third.
Yeah.
So no, I don't know who this fan is. Maybe they've started watching last year or something. Like this is clearly City's title. Like, you don't come into the last 15 games leaving it in City's hands. You have to make it mathematically impossible. Yeah. That's it. That's the only way to win it. And that's the only way it's been won in the last 7 years. The one time Liverpool won it reached a point where I think in the last 10 games or so it was mathematically impossible for them.
Do you think that's going to be Guardiola's next challenge, to make sure that they win the title even when it's mathematically impossible for them to win the challenge? That's going to be his next coaching revolution. Like he's done everything. Like we keep talking about how he's done everything, he's achieved everything. Now he's giving players to other teams. He's giving CEOs to Man United. So I feel like his next challenge is going to be, even when we can't mathematically come first, how can we still come first? And that will involve Arsenal, Liverpool getting a points deduction because of some goal that Man City have done to them.
Yeah.
That is what his next move is going to be, for sure.
Or he's gonna grow hair. Like that's his next. That's his next challenge.
Just basically just trying to get everything that is impossible possible.
Possible.
That'll be insane. He just turns around and just starts going clean shave and starts having hair on top. Starts becoming like Arteta. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's weird. Imagine if he goes in the next match against Arsenal, he has a full head of hair, wearing a wig,
Yeah,
shaved,
and Arteta's
the same
bald.
clothes that Arteta's wearing. To be like, hey man, how's it going? Just proper mind games. That will be fucking amazing.
Yeah, and
to watch.
Arteta's just bald.
Yeah. No, but Arteta will not know that. Like, imagine this, right? Like, Guardiola is doing this as a surprise. So he comes to the touchline and Arteta's just like, what the fuck?
No. See, the thing is,
Trimmer recall, and just on the sidelines, just
And
trims
for
his
the
fucking
first
shaves.
time, Arteta will look into a mirror and see himself,
Yes.
and he'll be confused.
Yes.
He's like, what is this? Is this what a mirror does?
The next one is by Noob Clicks. He says, do you guys also feel weird happiness when Liverpool loses? This is
Yeah, I
obviously
do,
for
man.
the two of
I
us.
do. I think this is really targeted at me, and I do. Yeah.
Yes. So yes, I
Yes.
definitely do. Prashant definitely does.
Definitely
Mukesh also
does.
apparently does.
Yeah.
Okay. The last one is by Asher De Silva. He says, is Douglas Lewis's assist against Sheffield United the assist of the season?
I think it's definitely up there. It
It's
is
up there,
definitely
yeah.
up there.
It's definitely the assist of the season so far. I mean, देखेंगे आगे कुछ क्या होता है. But yeah, it's definitely
The season is long and full of terrors.
Yeah, the season is long. The season is long and full of assists.
Also, Asher De Silva, I think this is the first time we're hearing this name. So
his account name is Dark Horse Killers.
Oh, okay. So then he's written before, yes.
Yes.
This is the first time, Prashant, you've referred to him by name and not
Yes.
Instagram handle.
Yes.
Right,
Because social media is a lie.
Yes,
What is your real name?
absolutely. Exactly.
Anyway, that's all the questions we had, guys.
Awesome. Thank you for writing in. We love listening to you, and please do keep writing in because it leads to some great content, like realizing that Mukesh also feels happy when Liverpool lose. So,
It's like
fantastic
putting a
stuff.
mirror.
Right.
It's like putting a mirror on his face. Sorry, I just
It's a
had to
mirror
do
to
it.
society. Yeah, absolutely. Everton 2, Spurs 2. Richarlison's comeback to Everton was great,
Derby.
but it was foiled because Everton did manage to get points back. Richarlison's actually looking good, huh? Like
Yeah.
his start at Spurs wasn't great. Maybe that was because a certain Harry Kane was the preferred starting striker. But since Kane has gone and since Ange has come in, I think Ange is really getting a tune out of Richarlison.
Yeah, I think so. Good for them. I don't know what to say. Actually, I was kind of hoping that he would score the equalizing own goal because then I'd feel like, oh, that feels complete.
There's a little bit of Everton still in him.
Yeah, but that didn't happen. But it turns out there's still a little bit of Tottenham in him, so that's nice.
There's a lot of Tottenham in him.
Yeah.
There is a lot of Tottenham. Spurs have also hijacked a deal for Lucas Bergwall from Barcelona. Lucas Bergwall was supposed to sign for Barcelona and at the very last minute decided to go to Spurs, which on the face of it sounds really weird, but when you actually look at the state of affairs at Barcelona, you're like, he made the right choice. Like Spurs, being the basket case of a club that they are still a better choice than Barcelona at this point.
I mean, at least he'll get paid. I think he'll get paid in Tottenham for sure.
That's true.
Whereas at
That's
Barcelona,
true.
that might be a problem.
I think that was one of the biggest reasons why that would have happened.
Yeah.
Chelsea 2, Wolves 4. Prashant, what the fuck is going on at Chelsea? Let it out, Prashant. Let it out. This is therapy.
So,
No, but it was. I mean, Cole Palmer started off the scoring, and then Matthias Cunha just took the game by the scruff of its neck. 3 goals for him, a goal for Ayan Aït-Nouri as well, and Chelsea just looked all over the place.
Chelsea was just all over. They didn't know what was happening. I think Wolves were just a smarter team.
Yeah,
smarter,
Pedro
creative.
Neto.
Exactly. He was
What
the
a
one.
guy.
He was the man
What a guy.
behind this whole game.
Yeah.
He's like, what a man.
And like you can see so you can see the difference in the mentality of the game, the maturity of the game. Wolves is not a team that is created with a lot of young players. They may have started off with young players. They have a lot of seasoned players, or at least players who can understand the game. I feel with Chelsea is just like a bunch of kids playing FIFA and reacting and then going home and then putting up statuses. I
does
don't
look
know
like,
how
you know,
else can I explain this, but
I don't know if this is a mean thing to say or politically incorrect, but Chelsea's team does look like a bunch of influencers.
Yeah.
it is. It
None of them
is.
really look like footballers. I don't explain
Yeah.
it. It's something like City,
They
for
just-
all their wealth, the footballers look like footballers, right?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
Chelsea's players look
They don't.
like total
They look like they
influencers.
just want a nice haircut and come for the game. That's it. That is
It
it.
looks like ऐसा लगता है every time a Chelsea player scores a goal or makes a defensive tackle, they'll want to look at the nearest camera and be like, share, subscribe.
And that, like for example, DRC looks like one of those guys.
Yeah, yeah.
He's.
I mean,
Anyway.
all of them at this point, but
Yeah. Even Raheem Sterling has become influencer after
Yeah.
being at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Like at Man City, he was not like this.
Yeah.
Thiago Silva looks like an influencer, like a
No.
38-year-old influencer.
No.
Silva,
Thiago Silva looks like the manager of
Yes.
the agency that
Yes.
manages all these influencers.
Yeah.
वो
100%.
10% कमा रहा है सब लोग के Instagram following से basically. But speaking
100%.
of Thiago Silva's wife had something interesting to say. And Thiago Silva's wife is known to be quite outspoken about issues related to Chelsea and her husband on her social media accounts. And she said on Twitter that it's time for change.
Ooh, but I'm guessing change means going back to
Mourinho?
home country.
No.
I thought it meant for Thiago Silva to go back to home country. And
Yeah. Of course,
You know,
she
like-
meant it in that aspect, but like all the comments are like, do you mean this for the manager? You mean this for who?
Oh, I would love Mourinho.
You know-
I also feel like it's not a bad bet. Like at this point, what do you have to lose? Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like you're 10th. It can't get worse than this. And there's where you
10th?
can.
No.
most
We're
people
not
can-
10th. Hello. We're on the bottom now.
Wait, are you serious? Oh
Yeah,
my
we're
God.
not 10th anymore. Wolves has
For
taken
some-
over that position.
I have really not checked. the
I will
second half
give
of the
you,
table
I'll
in a
give
long
you
time.
even more statistic now because this is pain. This is the hope Chelsea gives you and steals it off when there was none.
Yeah.
Wolves won a game at Stamford Bridge since 1979 or 1975. 1979, if I'm not mistaken. That was a stat.
Okay.
This is no one, right? Like,
Wow.
and then you have a post-match conference of Pochettino going and saying that I apologize that we're not good enough. And a reporter asked him that, do you think the players are good enough to be a top 4? And then he takes a pause and says top 6 also. This is the reporter.
Yeah.
And Poch says, no, I don't think any of us are good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that it begins with me. We're not safe. Like none of us are safe at Chelsea.
No, but what's worse that in that same, I agree that, as a manager, you accept what the problems are, right? You accept defeat and you move on. But then he goes on to say that, we'll come back, we'll try harder, which is again what every manager will say. But the tail end of this conference where he says that, if it doesn't work out, we'll do something else. We'll come up with another solution. We'll just move on. That mentality is just trying to get out. Like, I'm going to get out if it doesn't work. Then move on right now. That mentality is just like you've already given up. Why would you want to go there?
Yeah.
See, honestly, I think all of us at some level love Pochettino. Like I think there is something about him. It's like this baby face
He's
manager
cute.
who was once
He's
so promising. No, but he was also very promising. He was tactical good. He was I think say 5-6 years ago, he was one of the few man managers left when tactics were just becoming the thing. I know obviously all of us still wanted him to do well, but I think I don't know if it's a money issue or if that's the kind of person he is. But I think he's just been choosing the wrong teams. I think to pick PSG, to pick Chelsea as a project were really bad ideas. I think he should go the David Moyes, Unai Emery way. Pick a small team in Spain that he can like a Villarreal that he can mold in his image, that he can make errors with, but also not be overly punished.
Yeah.
Get them up to a respectable place and then come back into the Premier League with some confidence, some new method that he's taken time to experiment. Because at Chelsea, he's not getting any time to experiment. He's not getting the players who are willing to bend to whatever he wants to experiment with. And I think if after every failure you're going to be questioned, you're also not going to feel like experimenting.
Yeah.
So
also,
I
he
think
didn't experiment as much.
No. So how will he? Like after every game, if he's sure that after every game he's going to get like first, players are not open to that bending or whatever. And second, if after every game you're going to get grilled, I think he's going to be like, oh, bhai, thoda safe karenge.
He's acknowledged the fact that there is pressure, that there is stress that comes in, that, you have to perform, you have to win at least something. And at some point it's going to come down, because it's 100%, like, as long as you have the money, at least you show some sign that there is some change in the players, the way they perform. There was just lazy behavior from the Liverpool loss to even yesterday's Wolves loss. There was no change, like managerial wise, no change, formation wise, no change. There was absolutely nothing. He just copy pasted, even if you're going to judge a manager whether by wins, not by wins, losses, at least if you have the change of mentality by players, of at least them having to try something else, at least then I would have said Pochettino did some sort of a job. I'll still take his side. But over here, it doesn't really feel that. By the end of the season, if the players have not really shown some kind of growth, do you really want to still back the manager? That's my point, at least.
I mean, Poch also said that they're looking for a set piece specialist now in the transfer market.
Stupidity.
Because then he said, like, a player like Ward-Prowse adds so much because he's so great at set pieces. I'm like, तेरे पास इतना players already है.
James Ward-Prowse supremacy.
No, let's stop your Ward-Prowse. The whole point here is, I'm saying you have so many players. Like, what is the transfer strategy here, if at all? I mean, there is none.
No, so this is again little contradictory point, because he wanted to let go of. They've let go of who? I think they let go of a player to Fulham on a permanent transfer.
Armando Broja.
Yeah, Broja, and they were saying that, I think we can let go of him because we don't think it's going to be that much of a problem, and we already have Jackson in that position as well. So, we don't need to. Why would you want to get another player when you have enough options around in your own squad? This again contradicts the same point.
And that too a set piece specialist.
Yeah, just
Raheem Sterling is quite good at set pieces. Just use him.
But again, he's also like done. He's done and dusted.
Yeah.
I feel like the players are not a cohesive unit. Raheem Sterling is like, मैं time करके निकलने वाला हूँ यहाँ से. Silva has already taken that much stress. He's like, भाई मेरा season end होने वाला है.
Speaking of Chelsea players, did you see a fan Instagram message Mikhailo Mudryk and said, how much do you need to get paid to score a goal? Because quite literally, like, when you're playing, it's like Chelsea's playing with one person less. Please practice some one-on-ones. And Mudryk replied saying, come play one-on-one with me for 10,000 euros.
Oh, wow.
To which the fan replied, bro, we're all Chelsea fans here. We are all genuinely concerned. At this point, I'm ready to start paying you every time you score. You have Everton next. Please.
I love the fact that at some point, Wolves fans were singing, your team is shit. And Chelsea came back with, our team is shit. And they were both singing it. I was damn funny.
Yeah.
Small victories. Because we can't have the actual victories.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. On that note, it's time to end to the final segment of this episode, which is Mukesh's game.
Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mukesh's game, which has been happening for the last 12 months, and I've been keeping score. It consists of me asking questions and Amogh and Akash taking shots at giving answers, and whoever gets the most number of points becomes the winner of Mukesh's game and gets a lot of prestige.
That is such a long-winded explanation as to how a quiz works.
I mean, I don't know how else to. What is you win, Amogh? Other than it's not even much honor. Let's be honest.
No,
it's not even prestige. I don't know why we do this, but it is a game that we play. And so now, for those of you who are new and listening, because Akash isn't there, what happens is we punish those who are not here. So because of that, Amogh is asked 5 questions, and he gets to win. Each question is worth 2 points, and because of that, he gets to win 10 points. And he is rewarded for coming up and turning up on the podcast. Meanwhile, Prashant's role is to be a saboteur. He doesn't get any points because no one's keeping track of his points, But if he answers the question, Amogh gets none of those points. Right?
Again, typically how a quiz works.
but here, Prashant has no one's keeping Prashant's score. He's just there to
start keeping his score from now.
No, but he barely comes.
I have trees and apples in some zoo that was happening last episode.
Yeah, fair. Yeah,
Prashant's clearly winning those.
Okay, let's go. Let's start.
Let's start with the first question. Amogh, are you ready? For 2 points. Okay. If the Queen supported the team who were closest to the Buckingham Palace, which team would she support? Whoever answers first gets the points or doesn't get the points based on.
Is it
Aston Villa?
Nope.
Aston Villa is in Birmingham, not even in London. Buckingham Palace is in London. So it's a London team. Is it
Tottenham?
Nope.
No, it's not Tottenham.
West Ham?
Tottenham is not London.
Nope.
East London, not West Ham. Is it Queen's Park Rangers?
Nope. Also, if I'd said which was the closest to her name, then maybe Queen's Park Rangers.
Yeah.
But it is.
Fuck.
Prashant, you can keep guessing any name.
No,
it's not Fulham. Is it Chelsea?
It is Chelsea. That's how simple. I was hoping Prashant would just guess Chelsea. It is Chelsea, and with that, Amogh gets 2 points.
Yay!
Taking him to 47 and leaving Akash behind at 45, much like the tactile race.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Which footballer became the first player to win back-to-back European trebles when he won the Spanish? First let me just stop with that, and I'll give you more clues as it goes.
Sorry, say that again.
Wait, which player became the first player to win back-to-back
European trebles?
Okay. Back-to-back.
I can give you a clue if it feels really broad right now. He won in the first year. He won the Spanish treble, and in the second year he won a Italian treble. So I mean, when you have nothing that helps you narrow it down to one specific phase, because.
Is it Cristiano Ronaldo?
It's not Cristiano Ronaldo, but great guess.
Yeah.
There is a Chelsea connection here too. That's another clue.
Is it...
Prashant, any guesses?
No, man. It's...
All right. He played...
more. I think some more clues are needed.
Clues. He played for Chelsea in 2013-14. He then went on, and the following year he went and played for Everton, and after, of course, he went to Turkey. But clearly, Chelsea, Everton, and all of them.
Samuel Eto'o.
It is Samuel Eto'o. Excellent question. Excellent answer, Amogh. Well done. It is Samuel Eto'o. He won in 2009. He won the Spanish treble with Guardiola, where he won the league, the cup, and the Champions League. And in 2010, under Mourinho, he won the league, the Italian Cup, and the Champions League with Inter Milan. So excellent. And that takes you to that's 2 extra point. That takes you to 49 points for those of you keeping score, which is not me.
Wait, what? You're not keeping score? What the fuck?
What sort of quiz is this?
Okay. Which club's nickname was the Pensioners because of a supposed army hospital close to them?
I know this.
No?
Yes,
Chelsea
well done,
is the Pensioners.
Chelsea are the Pensioners. Excellent. They have a lion or something in their logo right now, but until the 50s, they actually featured an old army man in their logo, and it's a very classic logo. Yes, Prashant, the saboteur strikes.
Nice.
Thus robbing Amogh a chance of winning more points. The Alex McLeish was a former football player who was a manager he managed Rangers at some point of time, the Scottish team, correct? That's a fact. He tried to sign which superstar when he was alerted through the superstar's ability through the video game Football Manager. He almost signed one player. Who was this player? For Celtic. For Rangers, sorry. For the Scottish team Rangers, Alex McLeish, the manager and former player, almost signed one player.
Was it Hatem Ben Arfa?
Nope, not Hatem Ben Arfa. Sadly, there is no Chelsea connection this time. Or maybe there is, because Chelsea is about to sign everyone.
And he's going to throw in Peter Crouch. I know it's not even makes any
Not
sense.
Peter Crouch. Superstar player, I said.
Superstar. Okay.
Was it Ronaldinho?
It was not Ronaldinho.
Okay, can we have another clue?
Was it Henry?
It was not Henry. Think bigger.
Okay, more clue.
Yeah,
clues.
think bigger is the clue. Think bigger.
Oh, think bigger. Messi.
It is Messi. Rangers almost signed Messi because of a tip off from Football Manager, and the board, whoever in charge, didn't back Alex McLeish because they thought that was an insane thing.
Visionary manager Alex McLeish.
Visionary.
The man.
All right, Prashant, Amogh, you're at 51 points, and here's your final question of the day. Obviously, I prepared a much longer quiz, but Akash didn't come up in the last minute, so I'm doing away with all my easy questions or whatever, or like the simpler questions now. All the interesting ones are saved for next time.
Next time. Okay, cool.
Okay. 1 second. Oh. Actually, I'm going to ask you this question because this is a question I also asked Akash, and now that he's not there, let's see. Prashant, you're not allowed to answer this if you remember it. So this is purely for Amogh to win the 2 points or not win the 2 points. He has exactly one shot at getting it. And if he doesn't get it, he doesn't get the points at all.
Okay.
So the question is, tell me a football team name from the Premier League, right, which we follow. Tell me a football team name which starts with 5 consonants.
With 5 consonants?
Yeah.
What do you mean starts with 5 consonants?
A Premier League team
like
name.
the first 5 letters are consonants.
Consonants.
First 5 are consonants, huh?
It's 10:11 on my phone, Amogh. By the time it turns to 10:13, you have to give me an answer.
Okay. First, okay. Crystal Palace.
Oh, well done. Oh my God, it's incredible because Akash did not get it. And he said it's too hard a question.
What? That's not hard at all.
And then I think he guessed AFC Bournemouth or something. I'm like, first of all, it begins with A. Oh, but chuck that. Bournemouth is B. Oh, you. And by the time you reach E, 3 out of the 5 vowels are done.
It has all the vowels except I.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, excellent. Amogh. Crystal Palace is the answer. And with that, you've taken 8 out of the 10 points that you could have gotten today. Excellent.
Amazing.
I just want you to brace yourself, Mukesh. When Akash comes the next week, he's going to tell you that Amogh knows the answer because he's also editing them. So he's going to go through all the episodes to hear the answers. So just be ready for that. So just be ready for that answer.
To be fair, yes. So I did edit the podcast that I was not a part of, but I don't remember this because I skimmed through the whole thing. Because I was also on holiday, so I didn't want to spend too much time doing work. So I don't know if I went through the whole thing properly or not. Just made sure it was fairly decent to be published out. So when you said this question, I was like, yeah, I don't remember this. So I had to actually use my brain for this one. Yeah. I'm smart, guys. I'm smart.
We'll give him this one. Yeah. But excellently played. You are now at 53 points. Akash languishes at the bottom in the relegation zone with 45 points.
Why are you doing this to him?
He knows what that's all about.
He knows that his... And soon Prashant also.
Prashant will also know what that's all about.
Excellent. Well played. And with that, we conclude this edition of Mukesh's Game.
And with that, we also conclude this edition of The Corner Flag. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening to this episode. If you'd like to get in touch with us and tell us what you thought of this episode, you can reach us on our social media. You can follow Prashant on Instagram at
Prash224.
You can follow Mukesh on Instagram at
Mukesh Manjunath.
And you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Amogh.
And that's cause his name is Chris. No vowels, whatever that sounds like.
Exactly what you said, Christopher. Right. You can also follow the Corner Flag on Instagram and Twitter @cornerflagpod. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@cornerflagpod. Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. And do not forget to give us a 5-star review. Also, head over to the link in our stories on the Instagram social media handles of the Corner Flag to vote for us in the HT Smartcast/Mint Podmasters Awards. We are nominated as the best sports podcast. We would love to win this award because it'll be the first award that we won as a podcast, and that's fucking exciting. So if you haven't already, please go vote.
Here's my convincing plea.
Yes.
See, those of you who are listening, who even stayed or stuck on till this point of the podcast, right? You've probably wondered, what the fuck am I doing with my life listening to this podcast for so long? But if you let us win that podcast, there's meaning to all of this. You did not have to suffer alone, and your suffering did have some payoff. So
and you can proudly tell people, I listened to an award-winning podcast.
Exactly.
I made them win. It could be your vote that pushes us over the edge. Think about that. Think about that for a second. Think about the good that you will be doing in the world if you head over to the link, and the link which will be there in the show notes of this episode as well, for easy access to you guys, and you vote for us. It would be absolutely fantastic. So head over to the link in the show notes, and please do vote for us. It would mean a great deal for us if we manage to win this with your help. And if you can't do that, just subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever. Give us a 5-star review. That also helps us a great deal. Shout out to Kazab Gurda for composing our theme tune. And until next week, it is goodbye from us. Say bye, Prashant.
Bye, guys.
Say bye, Mukesh.
Bye, guys.
And it's bye from me.